A very good evening. You're watching News 9 with me, Akshita. And first up, in what comes as a major relief for Janardhan Reddy, the CBI Special Court has granted conditional bail to him in the AMC illegal mining case. This happens to be the first bail granted to him in an illegal mining case. The mining baron has been in jail for the last 2.5 years. He is facing as many as 5 cases. And considering that Janardhan Reddy can't walk out of the jail in spite of being issued conditional bail. My colleague Verghese joins us on the phone lines with more details. Verghese, while there will be celebration considering that this is the first bail Janardhan Reddy has managed to seal, there's no doubt that it will not mean anything at all to him.
Well, it is, in fact, there are several cases that he is facing. So it is, in fact, a bittersweet kind of news that has come to him. It is only in one of the cases that he has been granted, and that too it's a conditional bail. The conditions rely on the fact that he will not attempt to destroy evidence, nor interfere in the investigative processes, nor try his influence in bringing out a favorable outcome for himself in the investigation. So these are some of the conditions that have been laid out, and also he will have to be under constant vigilance, as well as he'll have to report to the local police station. But at the same time, he cannot walk out because there are several other cases that have been pending against him, and he'll have to also furnish a personal bond of ₹10 lakh, and that is something that he will have to do. And this is only one of the cases, but there are several, as many as 5 cases where he'll have to be inside. So this is only a kind of a relief that has come to him on one front, but there are several other criminal cases that he's also facing. In fact, way back on July 22nd, the Supreme Court had in fact rejected his bail in several other cases. He was in fact accused of changing the lease boundary markings and indulging in illegal mining in the Bellary Reserve Forest area. That is in the OMC case, and this particular mining area stretched over Bellary in Karnataka and to Anantapura district in Andhra Pradesh. So this is the situation that he found. The police had registered a case in where he had moved the lease boundary markings, and now that case is still pending. And there are several other cases, especially with regards to intimidation. There are criminal cases also that are there. So it is quite a bittersweet news that has come to him. But clearly, on one front, clearly things are moving for him, Akshita.
Right, Verghese, also keeping in mind that he has gotten conditional bail in this particular case, it will prove to be some sort of a boost for him, considering that for the last 2.5 years, there's been absolutely no sort of freedom given to him, no sort of concession by the courts. Will this urge him to, in fact, go ahead and seek bail in all the other cases he's been booked in?
Well, he has. His lawyers had been filing for bail, especially in the last 2.5 years. There have been constant attempts. Even though his bail petition was first rejected by the High Court, it was taken to the Supreme Court, and even after the Supreme Court has rejected it, he's gone for a special appeal. So there has been a constant fighting for getting bail on several fronts. But it is only in this one that in this particular case, he was able to get this particular conditional bail, and that too, since it's a conditional bail, there's a lot of limitations that are there on it. But still, he can't walk free because there are several other cases that are pending with regards to him, Akshita.
Right, Verghese, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. And of course, no doubt Janardhan Reddy will be happy to hear that he has received conditional bail. This is with regards to the AMC mining case. The CBI Special Court did grant him conditional bail, but it will not mean any sort of breather for him. He will remain in jail, keeping in mind that he's booked in at least 5 cases. And well, here's a pointer to the lawlessness in Delhi. A man was being stabbed to death publicly by 5 juveniles. This attack on the man was caught on CCTV. Absolutely shocking scenes being witnessed there. It is understood that these 5 people were in fact minors. They were juveniles and are seen attacking and stabbing a man in the middle of the street. My colleague Michael now joins us over the phone lines with more details. Michael, what more do we know about this shocking incident?
Nishita, I beg your pardon, Akshita, you rightly pointed out they were juveniles, and it is said that the group of 5 boys who attacked the 2 boys on the bike, they were all juveniles, and they were carrying, the 5 boys were carrying 2 pistols and 3 knives between them. The pillion rider managed to escape the attack. You can actually see on the CCTV footage that he jumped off the bike as soon as the 5 boys approached the bike. And even as the one boy escaped, the other boy was sadly cornered, and the 5 of them went at him, and they, of course, attacked him, assaulted him with the weapons. Now, the shocking thing is, the Delhi police haven't arrested the 5, but they've detained a few people for questioning, and they've recorded statements of the victims' family members, but they still haven't been able to track down the 5 juveniles who carried out this attack. And this happened in broad daylight, Akshita. That is the most shocking thing. There were so many. It was a crowded street. It's a busy street, as is evident from the CCTV footage. But nobody went to the help of this boy. Probably they were afraid because the boys were carrying pistols, and that was what probably prevented people from going to the aid of this boy who was on the bike. But it truly is. It just shows shows the total lawlessness in this particular incident in the capital, Akshita.
Right, Michael, do we have any word on the condition of the victim? Do we know if Sachin, who was, of course, stabbed multiple times, has managed to survive that attack?
There's no word on that as of now, Akshita, but what the police are doing is they're just trying to get details from eyewitnesses, and they haven't yet released details about the status of the victim, but all that we know for now is that they have spoken to the victim's family members. They're trying to get some statements trying to figure out as to whether there was any enmity between these boys, what exactly was the cause for the attack on the 2 boys. That is what we know as of now, Akshita.
Right, Michael, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. Absolutely shocking, the kind of lawlessness we're looking at in Delhi in broad daylight in the middle of a road with so many people walking by. These juveniles, 5 of them, attacking 2 people on a bike. One of them is brutally stabbed again and again. Nobody comes to his rescue. Nobody even stops to see what is happening. And of course, the pillion rider, we understand, managed to make a run for it. The rescue operations of Little Timanna hit yet another roadblock today. A lot of hopes were pinned on Manikantan's robot, but now it has been pulled out of rescue operations as mud kept falling on the little boy trapped in the borewell. My colleague Harish, who is present there in Sulikere in Bagalkot, takes us through the latest updates.
Well, it's been more than 72 hours and the rescue operation to try and save the 6-year-old kid continues, and the evacuation continues over here. And as far as the rescue operation at the shaft is concerned, the one big challenge for rescue officials over there is to try and somehow take out the soil that has deposited on the 6-year-old kid, after which Manikantan will be able to insert his robotic arm and somehow grab hold of either the forearm of this boy or his head and lift him up. Well, as far as the rescue operation is concerned, no major headway has been made in terms of depth because it's been around 65-70 feet since yesterday. But the focus has now shifted on clearing out a larger area. What we understand by speaking to officials from the Hatti Gold Mine and NDRF is that if they have to achieve a depth of 160 feet, then they have to proportionately dig in terms of the width as well. That's the reason you see a much larger area has been covered. And right now the focus is on garnering the width that's required to reach 160 feet, and NDRF officials are saying it might take a good 5 to 6 more days to achieve this kind of a depth. And right now the excavation work continues over here, and everyone is hoping somehow they can take out the boy, pull up the boy from the borewell shaft itself, so that they can make sure this rescue operation is wound up or is taken care of as soon as possible. With camera person Jabbar, Harish Upadhyaya, News9, Bagalkot.
Well, those were the latest updates for you, but here's a report on all that took place today in Bagalkot. As days wear on, hopes are only plummeting. And to make matters worse, rain hampered the rescue operations further. Debris falling inside the borewell shaft has forced the officials to suspend using robot in rescuing little Timanna. Plumber-turned-inventor Manikantan's robot had been pressed into service last night. There was some headway in the rescue operations. Manikantan's robot had been pressed in to rescue little Timanna at 11 p.m. last night. The digging of parallel tunnel was stopped, but that is the only solution now. The boy is said to be buried under 2 feet of mud, which is hampering rescue operations.